Hey, thanks, Jose. Thank you. Good afternoon. Standing between the lunch, that's my job, right? But great job. This when you travel out of India, how much of digitalization we have, whether it be a DigiYatra or our UPI, it's a fantastic job that you guys are doing, especially Nandan and team. And the beacon protocol, I'm a big fan of open protocols. I represent Bosch. I represent Bosch software. We are around 40,000 engineers doing product engineering in this country, Vietnam, Poland, and Mexico. You may have heard, for those who know automobiles, CAN protocol that was developed by Bosch, and it was thrown open. And it's the most widely used protocol in automobile nowadays. The car is undergoing a big change. The architecture is shifting. It was very closed, except for CAN, maybe everything else was closed. So we used to give hardware and software integrated into the systems. Now it's completely changed. Tesla was the architect behind it, not us. But the layered architecture that's coming out really is again open. We have protocols like COSA, which makes it very open. Okay, today I'm not talking about protocols, it's about sustainability, right? So I'm coming from Cochin yesterday, reached here at around 11:30. The biggest discussion point there is a landfill fire and the smog that is coming out of it. So there are some very basic stuff that we need to possibly look at and how technology could solve it. We have a fire here in Turali forest. I'm a cyclist and I go for cycling around, and that's one of my favorite spots. I was quite saddened to hear that there is a fire in there. There a lot of forest fires going. And then we have a lot of pollution-oriented stuff. Parking, this is not discussed often. When you look at generally vehicular emissions, one of the biggest contributors is searching for parking in very, very dense and congested cities. So we have some solutions out here. I'll be talking about them, then we can later take it offline. So as Bosch, we have one of the first carbon neutral companies. We were both in scope 1 and scope 2 neutral by early 20s. Now we are working on the scope 3. This is the greenhouse protocol. We look at the entire spectrum of how products are developed, the packaging of the products, and how do we interact with our consumers and also the ecosystem. So it's a holistic approach that we look at when we look at sustainability. Some of the solutions, not widely known, but I will just take it up. In most of the solutions, we have some engineering coming from India, Bangalore, so quite proud of it. The first one is a small box. We call it Phantom. It's very good for retail. You plug it into the existing mains, and it gives you a signature of how your power consumption is. So this is a very non-intrusive system which is based on signatures and AI. It's deployed in many of the retail outlets out here in India and globally. We have ParkSwiss, and you may have heard about the collaboration with Daimler, where Bosch and Daimler has worked on autonomous parking. There's a bit way to go for level 5 autonomy where you're going to have robotaxis. We are looking at least 10 years time zone by which robotaxis will be a reality. But autonomous parking is a reality already. That means you go to a hotel like this, and on a press of a button, your car will find a parking space. Or in a very dense city, where we tie up with the parking manufacturers, the parking operators, you can, with a press of a button, have your car parked. So that's the real use case, which is already there in a very, very small ecosystem, but this will become wider as you go along in the autonomy space of mobility. The other part is packaging. With convenience comes problems. Nowadays, most of us buy things out of many of these platforms, and it comes with packaging. How much of this packaging are recyclable and how much of it ends up in our landfills? So one of the initiatives that we do is this is from Power Tools. Most of the packaging that we do is recycled. That means we use recycled paper and it can be recycled. And the plastics that are used in many of our products are recycled. Last but not least, during COVID, the bestseller product of ours was the dishwasher. So often it's said that in India, especially, it's quite easy to get a maid, so why do we want to use a dishwasher? For those of you who don't know, a dishwasher uses around, from Bosch, uses around 9 liters of water to wash around 100 utensils. While if you do a manual wash, it will take around 40 to 50 liters. So it's something that people don't know. So it's an extremely efficient way of doing your things. So it's not for Bosch, but you can buy any dishwasher. But do think about investing in a dishwasher. So there are a lot of these kind of products that we work on, which obviously will help sustainability, and which, if it is taken into a digital platform which it is based on, it makes a huge impact. But beyond that, as I said, we have around 40,000 engineers working with us. How does each one of the engineer connect to this? So we run a big initiative around cycling to work. In fact, we are the biggest community of cyclists for an enterprise in Bangalore and Coimbatore, the two of the units. Really would love some more infrastructure in the city so that we can ask our guys to come in safely on cycles. So this cycles were what we mobilized for one of our cyclothon. Beyond that, last year was our 25th year and 100th year of Bosch in India. In fact, Bosch is seen more as an Indian company, not as much a German company. We should be proud of that. And we did something of planting one tree for each engineer who works with us. I just show you a video and I end how it went about and how the trees are.